Hey guys, my name is Troy. Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk about Superman, which flies into theaters this week. I want to share what my hopes and dreams for the film are and what it would make a success, in my opinion. First things first, what I want from this character and what I think is there from the trailers is I want it to be one that finally inspires hope for us. He's supposed to be this hopeful figure. He's supposed to inspire others. And that's what I really want from this character to be. We saw some of that in the Henry Cavill Man of Steel Superman that came out in the DCEU. There were flashes of it, but it never quite got there. And I think that's just because it suffered a little bit from the darker tone that Zack Snyder was going with that universe, which is fine. That's his interpretation. But I think that's what made the Christopher Reeve Superman so good for that generation. Is it one that inspired hope in people? It got them excited, and one that people inspire them to do good. And that's what I want this character to do. That's what I want this version of Superman to do. I think David Cornsweet is communicating a lot of that in this trailer, in the trailers that we've seen so far, that he intends to be that character that maybe is can have some discussion about his methods and what he's doing, but ultimately he's one that inspires people to rise above things and to do good. I also want to see a Superman that's willing to have some fun. And I think, again, we see that in some of the trailers and teases that we've gotten so far. One that's able to have fun and be lighthearted and not so serious all the time. He's not that character who is very formal, very to the point, right? He likes to have fun and laugh. And you see a lot of those moments in the comics. And so I'm excited that James Gunn seems to be implementing a lot of that quirkiness and fun parts of the character that really make him relatable. And so I really want to see some of that going forward as well. And something that a lot of people can pull and relate from and say, hey, I see myself in Superman because of X, Y, and Z. I also want to see Superman take a punch. I want to see him get hurt a little bit because I think what's made this character difficult for people to relate to or to get behind is just his invincible, right? He's Superman. He's all powerful. He doesn't get hurt. And so I think that's what made it really struggle for people to relate to that is see this character kind of have win after win after win. Or there's the dramatic side to that where you try to kill this character off in Batman versus Superman. But I want to see this character take a punch, get hurt, come back from that, pick himself back off the mat, and do so in a way that is, again, just inspiring for people. Like, hey, this guy, he's going through it. He can come out of it. So can me. I can too do that too. And so that I want to see that from this character, and not so much in the point where again you're just beating him to a pulp and he's like any other superhero because he is Superman. But just some level of that is what I want. Some level of that is what I want to be able to see that from this character that hey, he can bleed and he can take it and he can overcome it. Now, from the villain aspect of it, I want Lex Luthor to be Lex Luthor. I think, unfortunately, the depiction that we got in the DCEU was not an ideal version of Lex Luthor. And so I really want to see that from Nicholas Hoult in this movie. Someone who is calculated, who is manipulative, who could be terrifying in that regard as well, who is chaotic. That's what I want to see from this character. And one that can set up to be a villain in this first phase of the DCU, in this first phase of what James Gunn has in store for this universe. I want to see him to be like a Loki who is influenced in many different films or projects and who's got his hands in things a little bit. I don't want to be a one and done because I think that could be a weakness when it comes to this genre, when it comes to this villain. So I'm really hopeful that they set up Lex Luthor as somebody who is formidable to go multiple rounds with Superman in the DCU. I also want these side characters, Hawk Girl, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific. I want to see them in a way that presents themselves as long-term players in this DCU. I think it could be a tendency to just throw some names in here, throw some characters in here for the sake of the plot. But I want to see them as characters that I'm going to fall in love with and desperately want more of going forward. I think we're going to see some of that when Green Lantern Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl were in the Peacemaker Season 2 teaser. So they are going to be involved in that in some capacity. But I want to see them introduce these characters in a way that's like, yes, I want them going forward. I want to see them again because I think that helps with the longevity of building a cinematic universe is that you're introducing characters not as one-offs, but as future players in this world that will come back in some capacity. And so I hope by the end of this movie that it sets these up as characters, not just as one and dones, not even just two and dones, but as ones that we're going to see over the course of this universe as it continues to develop. And lastly, I really want to see Lois and Clark's relationship be the core of who Clark is and what drives him. Because I think when their relationship is strong, when that bond between them is strong, is when Superman's at its best. I think we've seen that in a lot of the different mediums that Superman's been in, whether it's comics or shows or past successful movies. Is that relationship, that drive, their chemistry is what makes you root so hard for those characters. Rooting for them to succeed, rooting for them to make it, rooting for them to overcome the things that are in front of them. And so I'm really hopeful for Rachel Brosnahan and David Gordon Sweat to have that chemistry on screen that's going to really drive these characters to have multiple and multiple appearances in the DCU. If there's a lacking in that connection, I think it's going to be really difficult to relate to those characters. It's going to be difficult to want to see them have success, to root for them. And so I really want to see a solidified relationship, a strong relationship there, and one that gives them a lot of energy going forward in this universe. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below of what you're hoping for in the Superman movie coming out this week. What are you looking to see? What would make you see this movie as a success? What would get you excited about the future of this character? Drop a comment down below. Leave a like as well. Subscribe for more content. And thanks for tuning in.